as long as it continues to do what it's done in the past, you're going to earn 20%. That is true if that happens. But the issue is with back testing is they don't take into account real market conditions. Hey, I'm John Stevenson, the Guarantee Retirement Guy. I just want to sit down on the grass here and talk to you about index rates. Yeah, index rates, high par rates, fancy indexes. You got a lot of annuities out there that are offering them, and I've got a lot of clients asking me questions about them. So I want to make a quick video here and talk to you about how they work and what I recommend. So when you want an annuity with an index and you want as much growth as possible, a lot of times when you see these teaser rates, I call them teaser rates because a lot of these fancy indexes will offer a teaser rate of 20% cap or a 500% participation rate. Wow, that's huge. You think about this, you're like, wow, that index earns 10%. I'm going to have 55% credited to my account. And that absolutely will happen if you earn that. But a lot of these indexes are not tried and true, okay? They're very, very new. And a lot of times when I am illustrating and we're looking at these indexes, they are variations of older indexes, but they're not those indexes, okay? So it could be a variation of the S&P, but not the S&P, okay? Kind of like the S&P Mark V. That's a variation, okay? It's not the exact same. And you have variations of the Credit Suisse and the variations of Fidelity Multifactor and Barclays, and you got some iFund shares. You got PIMCO, okay? There's lots of different things that you can put your money in. You got NASDAQ. But I tend to favor some of the more traditional, pure indexes like the S&P 500, NASDAQ, Russell 2000. Okay, I do like those. Even some of the Barclays and PIMCO indexes have actually performed well over the last couple of years. But a lot of times when we see these new indexes come out, they'll show these gains, and they'll show them like for the last 20 years that it's earned 20%. The issue is, and what you see in the fine print, is that they are back-tested returns. Yeah, back-tested. So that means that they're saying, all right, well, we've created this algorithm and we've created this strategy, and based off of back-testing, as long as it continues to do what it's done in the past, you're going to earn 20%. That is true if that happens. But the issue is with back testing is they don't take into account real market conditions. Okay, they don't talk about slippage, when orders are filled or when they're not filled. When the market's moving super fast and things are not filled, those returns are not actually realized. Okay, you might be able to see a chart and be able to read it and see where the price goes through and where you would have bought and where you would have sold, but it doesn't mean your order would have actually been filled. Okay, and so that's a problem when you're looking at back-tested returns. So a lot of these indexes, they're showing that. Then what they'll do is they'll say, well, we're going to give you a 500% participation rate in this index because we can get options super cheap. Well, why do you think they can get options super cheap? It's because those options will probably never, ever be exercised, right? Because the volatility is not there. Okay, so the options that are not cheap, that are expensive, and the reason why they have caps and lower participation rates are things like the S&P 500, the Russell 2000, okay, the NASDAQ, okay, those are tried and true. And so if you're looking for an index with an annuity, so you're looking for an indexed annuity, then you want to be looking at indexes that have been around for a long time. S&P 500 is a great one, okay, and there are companies like Delaware, MassMutual Ascend, and even Midland National that will give you the S&P 500 and that will give you a decent cap rate, maybe between 7 and 8% right now. And then they will give you a rate lock, which means that they will not lower that next year or the year after. Okay, they will actually give you that cap for the entire surrender charge period. Okay, that is typically what I would recommend you look at because you're probably going to get solid returns, okay? And when the market goes down, you're not going to lose anything, okay? Versus putting money into an index that is fancy, that looks great, that has all these back-tested returns that may not return you a dime, okay? So that's what I would recommend doing is looking at companies that give you decent caps, decent participation rates in these traditional indexes. Okay, National Life Group, they're another good company. They're great for these indexes, even though they don't offer a rate lock cap. They still, at least what I've seen over the last few years, they keep their rates pretty high. They keep their caps high, their participation rates high, and their renewal rates are pretty good. So Allance, same way. Allance, they don't lock in your rate, but they give you index locks for certain indexes, not the S&P 500. Sorry. But I have noticed that a lot of these other indexes that they do give you that index lock, they actually perform quite well. There are certain annuities we can look at. Global Atlantic is another one. They actually have in there a stipulation that if they lower it to a certain level, that you're allowed to get out of the contract free and clear with no surrender charges. So that's kind of cool too. But if I was still if I'm looking for highest growth in the S&P and I want market protection, then I'd probably, just what I've seen over the last few years, I would stick with companies like National Life Group, Delaware Life, Mass Mutual, Ascend, Allance. Those are probably some of my top picks if you are looking for some decent growth, you want market protection, and you don't want inflated returns from an advisor who is trying to sell you something so he can make a big fat commission, right? We all make commissions, okay? There's no secret about that. But if we're going to make commissions, then we better be earning them. And in my opinion, the best way to earn a commission is to educate and to give you all of the information so you could actually make the best decision for yourself. So if that helps, if you want to chat, if you want to talk about annuities for yourself, maybe you're looking for income. If you're looking for guaranteed lifetime income, the index doesn't even matter, okay? We'll just look at income riders, or we can look at SPIA and DIA contracts, just depending on what you're looking for. So if you want to book a call, there's a link below this video. It goes directly to my calendar, and bring your questions and I'll answer them. I hope you subscribe to the channel. If you got questions, I hope you comment below and I'll be sure to answer them. And again, thank you so much for watching. I enjoy doing these videos. I love it out here, and hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. So annuities can be hard to understand. If you've got a question or there's something I haven't covered and you're just curious, please go into the comment section and share whatever question, whatever comment that you have. I'd love to hear from you.